Hello students, how are you all doing? I hope you all are having a wonderful time. Well, dear students, reading for comprehension is an essential part of every type of English exam. So when you attempt a reading for comprehension question, what is the most challenging thing that you come across? You've got a passage and then there are certain questions followed by that passage which are related to that passage. Uh, I'm sure most of what you say, it is the difficult vocabulary used in that passage. So you come across certain words in the passage that you're unfamiliar with and you don't know the meanings. And then there are certain questions at the end of the passage which are related to that part in which those words have occurred and you don't know their meanings. So what will you do in that situation? Usually if it's not the exam, uh, if you are not in exam conditions, you use your dictionary, you can use your cell phone. But of course, in your exam, you cannot use your dictionary, you cannot use your cell phone. So in that case, what should you be doing? Interesting. Well, uh, what if I tell you that you can figure out the meanings of most of these difficult words without actually using any dictionary or any cell phone? I'm sure you would love this idea. So in my today's lecture, I'm going to let you know how can you figure out the meanings of difficult words that you've got in the passage, and you can figure out their meanings without using any dictionary or any cell phone. I'm going to share this screen with you. Okay. So how can you figure out the meanings of those difficult words? You'll be using the context in order to figure out the meanings of those difficult words. Okay, if I ask you, do you know the meaning of ubiquitous? Anyone who has heard this word before, or anyone who knows the meaning? I guess most of you would not know the meaning of this word. Uh, so do you know the meaning of the word ubiquitous? Now, if this word is given as an isolated item, I'm sure most of you would not know the meaning, and it's going to be almost impossible to figure out its meaning. But look at the sentence below and see if the context, the words surrounding the unfamiliar word. So what is context? Context is actually the words surrounding the unfamiliar word. Helps you figure out the meaning of the word. So you don't know the meaning of ubiquitous, but if the same word is used in a sentence like this, cell phones have become ubiquitous. You can see and hear them everywhere. Now, what does ubiquitous mean? If you've got these three answers, one of them is unaffordable, second is complicated, and the third one is widespread. Which one do you think can be the meaning of this ubiquitous? Now, if you see, cell phones have become ubiquitous. They have become what? If you can see and you can hear people talking about them everywhere, do you think they have become unaffordable, or they have become complicated, or they have become widespread? Of course, I think if the context is given, it's going to be very easy for us to figure out the meaning, that it cannot be unaffordable, it cannot be complicated, because if you can see and hear something almost everywhere, that means that thing is widespread. So if the phones are everywhere, they must be widespread. Now the context helps you figure out that ubiquitous means widespread. Now, cell phones have become ubiquitous. You can see and hear them everywhere. So what does ubiquitous mean? The correct answer is widespread. Why you have got this meaning? Because you know that in the sentence, you know that the cell phones have become, you can see and hear people talking about it everywhere. So that means it is cell phones have become widespread. So if you've got this skill, how to figure out the meaning using the context clues, you are going to have at least a couple of advantages. Number one, using context clues will help you by saving your time when reading. Now, how it is going to save your time? So when you're reading something and you come across certain unfamiliar words or difficult words that you don't know the meaning, what you normally do, you either consult your dictionary, you try to find the word, and then you try to find the meaning of that word. And when you know the meaning, then you get back to what you were saying. It might have taken, say, at least 30 seconds. So if in every second sentence, you find certain word that you're unfamiliar with, it's going to take a lot of time to use dictionary, to consult dictionary again and again, and then seeing the meaning and then getting back to what you were saying, what you were actually reading. Likewise, when you're using cell phone, even then, you write down that word and you write down the meaning, and then, you get back. If you do it quite repeatedly in just one passage, it's going to waste you a lot of time. So you can save this time if you can figure out the meaning from the context. Number two, it helps you by adding to your vocabulary. Now, in my opinion, the worst way to enrich or enhance vocabulary is to open up the dictionary and try to find difficult words and then use those with difficult words in your own way, because you never have the context. Every word has got its connotation, every word has got its collocation. So if the context is not provided, if you don't know in what context that word is used, and you use it actually just in order to impress others, it's going to backfire actually. Because if you have used the word in a wrong context, the whole meaning would be changed. So in my opinion, the best way to improve or enhance your vocabulary is by reading actually. When you're reading, if you have come across a word and actually, that word is along with its context, because the context is also given in that passage. So if you can come across a word that you are not familiar with, and then you try to figure out the meaning using the context, if you come across that word twice, thrice, the word is going to be in your vocabulary store. So so you've got a second advantage is that it's going to add to your vocabulary. And of course, another disadvantage of consulting dictionary and or your cell phone again and again is that it spoils the fun of reading. Say, you're reading a story, you're reading a play or a novel, and you're in a very interesting situation, and all of a sudden you come across a word that you don't know the meaning, and you just go and check the meaning in your dictionary. It takes 30 seconds. When you get back, and if you do it again and again, the whole fun of that story is gone actually, because you'll not have that flow of reading that way. So if you can figure out the meanings using the context clues, it's going to save your time and it's going to add to your vocabulary. Now, there are basically 4 common types of context clues. They are examples clues, synonyms clues, antonyms clues, and general sense of the sentence or passage. So we'll be discussing these all context clues one by one. Now, the very first type of context clues is examples. Now, look at the cartoon below. Let's see. We can see a doctor is prescribing something to a patient, and the doctor is saying, the only adverse side effect of this prescription is that it will drain your bank account. Now you see, if the doctor is prescribing a medicine and he's saying that it has a side effect, that it is going to drain your bank account, that means adverse. If you have got these three options, adverse means known, B pleasant, C harmful. So if the prescription is going to cost you a lot of money, do you think it's a known effect, it's a pleasant effect, or it's a harmful effect? Of course, most of you would say it's going to be a harmful effect, harmful side effect, because the example is given that with this, it will drain your bank account. It's going to cost you a lot of money. So if something is going to cost you a lot of money, that is actually harmful side effect. Let's see what could be the meaning. Okay. So the example of an adverse side effect is that it will drain the patient's bank account. Now it helps you understand that adverse means harmful. So it cannot be known, it cannot be pleasant. Of course, not a pleasant side effect if it's going to cost you a lot of money. So this example clue has helped us to figure out the meaning of adverse that we might not know already. Now, let's move to some more examples. Now look at the sentence below and see if the examples help you understand the meaning of the word tribulations. Now, how many of you know the meaning of tribulations if it is given as an isolated item? I think most of you would not know. Okay, but if the same word is given in a sentence, as they moved westward, early pioneers faced many tribulations, such as scarce food, extreme weather, and loneliness. Now, if you've got these three choices, tribulation means criminals, hard decisions, or great difficulties. What do you think? What could be the meaning of tribulations? Now, see, these examples are given: scarce food, extreme weather, loneliness. Do you think these are the examples of criminals? Or these are the examples of hard decisions? Or these are the examples of great difficulties? Of course, these are the examples of great difficulties. So the early pioneers faced these great difficulties. Which great difficulties? Scarce food, extreme weather, and loneliness. Now, the three examples of what the pioneers faced help you understand that tribulations means great difficulties. So these three examples, scarce food, extreme weather, and loneliness, they have helped us to figure out the meaning of this word tribulations. So this is example clue. Let's see another example. Now look at the sentence below and see if the examples help you understand the meaning of the word idiosyncrasy. Each of my co-workers has a strange idiosyncrasy. For instance, a receptionist wears only pink. The male clerk always speaks in a whisper. And my office mate lives on peanuts and apples. Now, idiosyncrasy means A, hidden thought, B, unusual goal, C, unusual personal trait. So what do you think? Well, if you read the sentence again, this word idiosyncrasy, which examples are given? For instance, when you have used this word for instance, this is a keyword which suggests that we are going to have examples. Now the examples of idiosyncrasy are, a receptionist wears only pink. So if the receptionist wears only pink, do you think it's a hidden thought, it's an unusual goal, or it's an unusual personal trait? Likewise, the male clerk always speaks in a whisper. So if the male clerk always speaks in a whisper, do you think it's a hidden thought, it's an unusual place, unusual goal, or unusual personal trait? Likewise, and my office mate lives on peanuts and apples. If you see these three examples, Do you think these three examples are about hidden thoughts, about unusual goal, or of unusual personal trait? Of course, most of you must have figured out that the meaning of idiosyncrasy can be unusual personal trait, because these three examples which we have got in the sentence are actually examples of unusual personal traits, personal qualities. So the three examples of unusual personal habits help you understand that idiosyncrasy means unusual personal trait. Okay, now these examples are often introduced with signal words and phrases like, for example, for instance, including, and such as. So if you want to know about these example clues, whether you've got those example clues in the sentence or not, these are actually the keywords or signal words. If you've got these signal words or keywords in a sentence, like for example, for instance, including, such as, you should know that you are going to have example clues. Example is given. As they moved westward, early pioneers faced many tribulations, such as, now this phrase, such as, gives us an idea that we are going to have example clues. Like here, each of my co-workers has a strange idiosyncrasy. For instance, now this word for instance has given us an idea that we are going to have example clues in the sentence. So when you have got the signal words like for example, for instance, including, and such as, you should know that you are going to have example clues. Okay, so we are done with the first type of context clue, which is example clues. The second type of context clues is synonyms. Now, context clues are often found in the form of synonyms. One or more words that mean the same or almost the same as the unknown word. So what does a synonym mean? Synonym mean a word which has the same meaning or almost the same meaning. So sometimes we do have a synonym in the very sentence in which you have got a word that you're unfamiliar with. So that synonym which is there in the same sentence is going to help you to figure out the meaning of that difficult word. Now look at the cartoon below. What words help you understand what panacea mean? Now you can see here, according to the box, the cereal is a panacea. It will cure everything that's wrong with your life. So this is a cereal, and the lady says that according to the box, the cereal is a panacea. It will cure everything that's wrong with your life. So, if you don't know the meaning of panacea, you've got another word. What is it going to do? It's going to cure everything. So we can easily guess, we can easily figure out that panacea could be something which can cure everything. That's my understanding. Let's see, what it says. So the synonym that helps you understand the word panacea is cure everything. So if something cures everything is a panacea. Okay, so in this sentence, we have got another type of context clues, which is synonym. Okay, so the synonym for panacea here is cure everything. So the synonym has helped us to know the meaning of panacea. Now, let's have some examples. In the sentences below, what is the synonym that tells you the meaning of the word innate? That 5-year-old girl must have innate musical talent. Playing the piano so well at her age requires an inborn gift. Now, can you figure out the synonym which is used for innate here? That 5-year-old girl must have innate music talent. Innate music talent. Playing the piano so well at her age, at only 5-year age, requires an inborn gift. So, if you just look at the sentence, uh, you would think that innate means perhaps an inborn gift. So we have got in this sentence, we have got a synonym context clue. Let's see what it says. Now the synonym inborn tells you the meaning of innate. Okay. So that 5-year-old girl must have innate musical talent. That means the 5-year-old girl must have an inborn musical talent, because at just 5 years age, she can play the piano so well. So we have got this synonym context clue in this sentence. So this synonym inborn helps us to understand what can be the meaning of innate. Let's have another example. In the sentences below, what is the synonym that tells you the meaning of the word mentor? Now, gaining a mentor is helpful when you're beginning a new job. A wise and trusted advisor can greatly assist your career. Now, gaining a mentor is helpful when you are beginning a new job. A wise and trusted advisor can greatly assist your career. So who can assist? A wise and trusted advisor. So a wise and trusted advisor is someone who you need when you are beginning a new job. So most probably the word mentor means a wise and trusted advisor. So we have got this synonym clue here. So that has helped us to figure out the meaning of the word mentor. Let's check out. Okay. So the synonym wise and trusted advisor in the second sentence tells you the meaning of mentor. Okay, so we have got this in with red ink. We have got this wise and trusted advisor, which is synonym for a mentor. So this synonym has helped us to figure out the meaning of mentor. Okay, let's move to the third type of context clues. And that third type of context clue is antonyms. Now, what are antonyms? Antonyms are words or phrases that mean the opposite of a word. So antonyms are words or phrases that mean the opposite of a word. Now, antonyms are also useful as context clues. So antonyms is opposite of synonym, and synonyms are the words which have same or almost the same meaning. However, antonyms are the words or phrases that have the opposite meaning of the word. Now, sometimes these antonyms are also used as context clues in order to figure out the meaning of some particular words. So that's third type of context clue, antonyms. Now look at the cartoon below. What words help you understand what indolent means? Now, as you can see that this man is eating potato chips, and he's sitting in a sofa, and perhaps he's watching TV, and this lady doesn't seem happy. And the man is saying, indolent? I'm not being indolent. Trying to find something good to watch on TV while eating these chips is really hard work. So you see here, the word indolent, if you don't know the meaning, see if somebody is saying that I'm trying to find something good. If somebody is trying to find something good to watch on TV while sitting in a sofa and eating potato chips, and do you think, and then you have got this this antonym context clue, which is hard work. So what do you think is the opposite of hard work? If somebody is sitting in a sofa and eating potato chips and watching TV and doing nothing, what would you think could be the meaning of indolent? So the antonym hard work helps you figure out that the word indolent means lazy here. See, the man seems to be lazy because he's sitting in a sofa and he's eating potato chips and is doing nothing actually, he's just watching TV, and the lady doesn't seem happy. So here, this antonym context clue has helped us to figure out the meaning of indolent. So the opposite, the antonym of indolent is hard work. Now let's have, in the sentence below, let's have some more examples. What is the antonym that helps you figure out the meaning of the word verbose? So how many of you know the meaning of verbose? Okay, if this is given as an isolated piece of vocabulary, it's very difficult to know the meaning. But what is the meaning of verbose in this sentence? A memo that is brief and to the point is more likely to be read than one that is verbose and rambling. So it means that, okay, if you have got these three choices, A, argumentative, B, wordy, C, short. So a memo that is brief and to the point is more likely to be read than one that is verbose. So that means if a memo is verbose, it's at least it is not brief and to the point. Okay, because a brief and to the point is more likely to be read than. So this word than actually tells us that this verbose is actually not this. So if verbose does not have the meaning of brief and to the point, so that means it's going to be the opposite, the antonym of this meaning. So verbose is something which is not brief and to the point. And if something is not brief and to the point, that means it is argumentative, short? No, of course it is wordy. Wordy means that more words are used than actually required. So verbose is the opposite of brief and to the point. So it must mean wordy. So here, we have got the opposite, the antonym, brief and to the point. And this antonym has helped us to figure out the meaning of verbose, that it is wordy actually. Let's have one more example. Now in the sentence below, what is the antonym that helps you figure out the meaning of the word bizarre? So if you know the meaning of bizarre, now what's the meaning of bizarre? Let's read the sentence. Most of my friends' mothers seemed ordinary. Mine, however, did such bizarre things as spraying green paint on a dead tree in front of our house. Now see, I think in this sentence, we have got more than one context clues. So most of my friends' mothers seemed ordinary. Mine, however, see, whenever you have got this word, however, it shows contrast actually. That means you're going to write something which is opposite to what you have said earlier. So when you have written, most of my friends' mothers seemed ordinary, and then you're saying, however, that means you're going to say something opposite, which is not ordinary. So did such bizarre things, okay? And then you've got this example, spraying green paint on a dead tree in front of our house. Do you think it's an ordinary thing? Of course, it is not. So what do you think the word bizarre could mean? If you got these three meanings, odd, easy, dangerous. So if most of my friends' mothers seemed ordinary, that means your mother is at least not ordinary, okay, because you have used this word, however. And if she is actually spraying green paint on a dead tree in front of our house, that means bizarre means easy, no. Bizarre means dangerous, no, because spraying green paint on a dead tree is not dangerous, but it is actually odd. So odd is the meaning of bizarre. So bizarre, what is the opposite which you have got here actually, antonym? That is perhaps ordinary. So the opposite of ordinary could be odd or bizarre. Let's check it out. So you can see here, bizarre is the opposite of ordinary. So it must mean odd. So uh, we don't know the meaning of bizarre. So we have got this context clue, which is antonym here. So bizarre, the meaning of bizarre is the opposite of ordinary, and that could be odd. The opposite of ordinary could be something which is not ordinary. Okay, unusual. So uh, if she is spraying green paint on a dead tree in front of the house, so that is something which is not ordinary. Okay, so bizarre means something which is unusual or not ordinary or odd. Let me tell you, I'm not saying that you would always know the exact meaning of the word, but at least you will have a good sense of that meaning. You'll know what that word could mean. You'll come closer to the meaning of that word. Of course, you're not going to have the exact dictionary meaning, but at least you'll be able to figure out a meaning which is closer, very close to that word, and which will help you to understand the meaning of that sentence. Okay. Now, antonyms are sometimes signaled by words such as however, but, yet, on the other hand, and in contrast. Okay, so we have got certain signal words, certain keywords for antonym clues as well. So if you've got these words or these phrases in your sentence, you should know that you are going to have antonym clues. So if you've got a word like however, but, yet, or a phrase like on the other hand or in contrast, now these all words or phrases suggest that you're going to say something which is opposite to the one that you have said earlier. Okay, so these are signal words. When you have got these signal words in a sentence, you should know that you're going to have antonym context clue. Example is given here. Most of my friends' mothers seemed ordinary. Mine, however. So when you have used however, that means you're going to say something which is opposite to what you have said. And you have said that most of my friends' mothers seem ordinary. So what you're going to say is actually not ordinary. Okay. So these signal words help you to understand what type of context clue you're going to have in your sentence. So if you got words or phrases like however, but, yet, on the other hand, in contrast, you know that you're going to have antonym context clues. And if you've got the words like such as, for example, for instance, including, so you know that you're going to have which type of context clues. So you know what type of, I told you last time. So you know already that you're going to have what type of context clues. You're going to have example clues. Okay. Let's move on. Now, the fourth or last type of context clue is general sense of the sentence or passage. Sometimes we don't have a synonym or an antonym or an example context clue. So in that case, we have to do a bit more detective work actually. Sometimes to figure out an unfamiliar word, you must draw conclusions based on the information given. So you will read the sentence. The sentence might give you an idea what this word could mean. Sometimes not even the sentence, the whole paragraph. You read the whole paragraph and you see, what the writer is talking about in the whole paragraph. That is going to help you to figure out the meaning of a particular word. Well, asking yourself questions can help you make an accurate guess about the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Let's talk about the fourth type of context clue, general sense of the sentence or passage. Look at the cartoon below to understand the meaning of opportune. Ask yourself, is this a good time for the boss to tell the injured worker that he's been fired? Okay, now see the cartoon. What we can see here, we can see a person who is in the hospital. We have got this get well soon card as well and flowers as well. And he is injured. He is on a hospital bed, and you can see another person. Now, the other person is saying, this may not be the opportune time to tell you this, Cranston, but you are fired. Now we can figure out that this is actually the employer, the boss, and this is employee. And the boss is saying to the employee, this may not be the opportune time to tell you this, Cranston, but you are fired. So he's saying to his employee that you are fired, actually. You're sacked. So why do you think that, this may not be the opportune time. Why this might not be the opportune time? If somebody is on a hospital bed and he's quite injured, and the boss says, okay, you are fired, or you're fired from the job, what do you think the opportune means here? Do you think it is a good time? It is a pleasant time? No, of course, this is not perhaps a good time because the person is already seriously injured and he's in a hospital. So what does the word opportune mean here? If you see here, of course, we can easily know that the word opportune time here means is not perhaps, it's not a pleasant time, it's not a good time, it's not appropriate time, because when the person is already injured and on a hospital bed and the boss is saying that you are fired, so it's not a good time, it's not a pleasant or an appropriate time. So actually the general sense of the sentence has helped us to figure out this meaning. Okay, let's see, let's check out what it means. So we can see, since the boss realizes that this may not be the opportune time, his words to Constant strongly suggest that opportune means suitable. Of course, it's not a pleasant or it's not a suitable time. As I told you that it's not like you are going to figure out the exact meanings every time, but at least you are going to figure out a meaning which is very close to that meaning, and it can help you to understand that particular sentence. Okay, so here the word opportune means suitable or appropriate. Okay, now read the sentence below, then think about the question that follows to figure out the meaning of rectified. In order to get the general sense of the sentence, you need to keep asking yourself certain questions. For example, it says, the sentence is, one argument against capital punishment is that if an innocent person is executed, the mistake cannot be rectified. Okay, so ask yourself this question, what cannot be done about a mistake as final as an execution? So if somebody, one argument against capital punishment is that if an innocent person is executed means to be given capital punishment, is hanged till death, the mistake cannot be rectified. So what cannot be done if that person is already hanged? So rectified means remembered, predicted, corrected. Okay, so what do you think? What could it mean? Now, because the innocent person is dead, okay, when the innocent person is hanged till death, is given capital punishment, the mistake cannot be, do you think cannot be remembered, cannot be predicted, cannot be corrected? Of course, cannot be corrected. Why cannot be corrected? Because the innocent person is already dead, he's gone. So there is no way to correct the mistake of having executed the person. So the context, actually the general sense of the sentence, has helped us to figure out the meaning. That's one more example. Read the sentence below, then think about the question that follows to figure out the meaning of extricate. It took 2 days for volunteers to extricate the little girl from the bottom of the well. Okay, if you don't know the meaning of extricate, and you've got these three choices: free, delay, remember. So it took 2 days for volunteers to extricate the little girl who was already trapped in the bottom of the well. So it took 2 days for what? For volunteers to do what? To free that little girl, or to delay that little girl, or to remember that little girl. So how would volunteers try to help the trapped girl? So if you see, this context clue, this general sense, it you might figure out the meaning of this word extricate. Okay, so it might not be delay. Okay, so it took 2 days for volunteers to delay the little girl. No, it took 2 days for the volunteers to remember the little girl from the bottom of the well. Of course not. And it took 2 days for the volunteers to free the little girl. Yes, to free the little girl from the bottom of the well. So actually the general sense of the sentence or passage has, in this case, the sentence has helped us to figure out the meaning of the word extricate, which could mean free. So if the girl is at the bottom of a well, the volunteers would try to free her, of course. Okay, so the word extricate means free. Okay, so these were some of the context clues that I have discussed in my today's lecture. These context clues are going to help you in order to figure out the meanings of certain words in the passage that you don't know the meaning. Of course, in the beginning, when you'll practice it, you'll find it a bit difficult. But if you keep practicing, and I'm sure that you're going to master this skill of reading, which is to figure out the meanings from the context clues. I'm sure today's lecture might have helped you in some way. And now this was very important lecture, because in every English exam, we always have this reading for comprehension passage. So if you can figure out the meanings by using these context clues, it's going to be easy for you to find out the answers of the questions which are given at the end of the text. Again, let me repeat. I'm not saying that you will always find the accurate meaning, but at least, even if you try 10 times and 5 times, you can figure out the meaning which is close to the exact meaning. I'm not saying that you'll find the exact meaning every time, but say, 5 out of 10 times you try it and you find the meaning which is at least close to the meaning which might have helped you to understand the meaning of the sentence. I think the job is done. So it's going to help you a lot in your reading for comprehension passage. Have a wonderful time. With this, I conclude my lecture. Wish you best of luck.